It's Broadleaf Bullies talking shit. 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 It's Broadleaf Bullies.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Kevin. Happy birthday to you.
Oh, gonna make me cry. Thank you.
May
so
the
much.
dear Lord bless you.
Yeah.
And
May
there's something
the
about
dear-
Channel 4.
No.
No,
That's
no,
all
you
the
smell.
kid
You smell
shit.
like a monkey. It's,
Well, that's another one too. But this
Yeah.
is what we used to whenever in school. Whenever we sung "Happy Birthday" to a kid in grade school, Catholic school, too. Afterwards, it was "May the dear Lord bless you. May the dear Lord
Kevin's like,
bless
skip
you.
it.
May the dear Lord bless Kevin. May the dear Lord bless you."
And that's why I'm wearing your favorite color. And not my
Oh.
favorite shirt.
Yeah, you're not wearing a bully shirt.
Yep.
Yes,
Figure.
I was wearing the VSR shirt before, and I changed into my bully shirt. So,
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know.
nice.
so I remember this is probably going back. God, I don't know, 15 years or so, even maybe longer than that. I was married my first wife. A whole group of us went out for a dinner for her birthday. I don't know which one it was, and it was Applebee's, one of those whatever chain. But I'm like, hey, it's her birthday. Can we get sing? Like, no, we don't do that anymore. We don't sing. It's because it bothers some of the older patrons. And I'm like, get out of here.
They can't
So-
hear anyway.
I know. So it irritated me. So like halfway through the meal, I look at my buddy Brian, who's with us. I'm like, we're gonna sing, and he's like, what? And I'm like,
Absolutely.
so I actually stood up on my chair and I shouted to the restaurant. I'm like, hey, everybody, it's my wife's birthday. They don't sing here anymore because it scares people. But will everybody please join me in singing? The entire restaurant, all of the staff, the bartenders, everybody sung to Mary for her birthday.
Nice. I thought you were going to say you were banned.
Yeah, no.
You were pushed off
Like,
your
there's a
chair.
picture of Kevin at this Applebee's, Chili's, whatever it may have been,
Yeah, it was a
saying,
chain.
do not
Yeah.
let him back in here.
Chi-Chi's.
Chi-Chi's. I
Yeah.
remember
Yeah,
Chi-Chi's.
yeah.
They were
No, yeah.
horrible.
So Applebee's Chili's are one of the, one of
Really?
them.
I'm
Yeah.
surprised by that because restaurants still do it. Like, we go to places, well, it's been a while since I've seen it, like pre-COVID, and just where they sing happy birthday. You get your cake with a little candle on it, slice of whatever.
Yeah, it's rare. I mean, then again, like I said, it's been a year since we've been out anywhere. But yeah, I can't remember the last time that I had been out anywhere where they sung "Happy Birthday." I'm trying to think of the last place. It was a TGI Fridays.
Mhm.
Jessica and I were out there with some friends, just meeting up for dinner, and somebody else's birthday.
Yeah.
And that they sung. And then Hooters, obviously, they come out clapping the plates, jiggling the boobs, and singing "Happy Birthday" to you.
Nice.
So yes, nice.
And then shove your face in their boobs.
No.
Yeah, no, that is not allowed. So that is on the other menu. Yeah, trust
That's
me.
That's the
trust
secret
me, that's
menu.
not allowed. That is not allowed.
That's a secret menu.
Yeah,
We used to go to Hooters when I was in Harrisburg and I worked in pharma. My buddy and I from New York used to go to Hooters. It was like every Wednesday or Thursday. I can't remember anymore. After work, we usually meet right around 3:00. So it was kind of pushing the limit of after work, and we would get, wings or whatever. But we'd sit there and just drink beer, just hang out. And we always had this one waitress that would come over to us. And she was cute, obviously had the big boobs, the Hooters thing going. And we went in there one day, and we had done this for like, I don't know, almost a year. Like it was just our thing. So we went in there one day and we're sitting there shooting shit. She comes in and she's not working. They said she was working that day, and she has her kid with her. And she comes over with her kid and she sits at the table with us. She's sitting there with her kid talking, and Gene just looks at her and goes, "You fucking ruined it now." Like
we used to a group of us guys, like between 4 and 6 of us, we used to go in, same thing, like every Thursday or Friday night. It was like buy one pitcher or buy one bucket, get one for something. And we always get the same girl, and super nice. You just sit down, we just shoot the shit with her, and never wings though. Hooters wings are horrible. I don't know how they got famous for them disgusting wings, but
I don't think it was the wings.
Yeah, it was. I mean, they have the best chicken sandwich, the best like
great chicken sandwiches.
Yeah, you got the great hot dogs. Oh my god, fantastic! And then just back then, just ice cold beer.
Yeah,
God, it was their beer colder than anybody else's.
The only other place that I went to, and actually, I was not done with my story, but thank you for Jennifer in that one.
Yeah.
Was he just goes, you fucking ruined it for us. And she just like in front of the kid, she's like, what? He goes, I don't want to see you with your kid at the table. I want to see you in your Hooters outfit with your tits hanging out, serving us beer.
How old was the kid?
It was like 3, 4. And I just sat there and just looking at Gene. He just looked at me and he's like, am I right? And I was just like, you got a great looking kid there. She just walked away, and Gene's like, we're not coming back here anymore. And we didn't. Ruined it for her.
We had one for a while. She one of the other got pregnant, and they had like a shirt, and it said like a baby Hooter on board. And I'm like,
that's weird.
That's weird. You know, that's awkward. But
at least she wasn't like wearing the outfit with her belly sticking out.
That's this close to being a stripper and having a freaking shirt that says baby stripper on board. Yeah, it's this close.
But about half of those girls, and then the local strip club, Emerald City, all of those girls, they used to bring their car. They used to work on their cars all the time out the Quick Lube, and I knew all of them. You know, just most of them are good girls. Good girls.
We used to rent to the strip clubs when I worked at Enterprise Rent a Car. We used to have a national account with Al's Diamond Cabaret in Reading.
Yeah,
and back in the day, when Howard Stern was on, terrestrial radio, he was really big out of Philly and in Reading. And they used to go to Al's Diamond Cabaret. So he always used to like promote it. And we rented to Jen and Jameson. She came in our rental office, but we used to, whenever there was a delivery, it was like I was the assistant manager. So it was like, who's going to go with you to deliver the car? Because that was back when Enterprise would deliver cars.
Yeah, we come to you.
Yeah. So it was like, you always had to take 2 people. So it was like the person who was either kissing your ass or offered to take you out for beers or who was doing well. And you go down there and you'd go in through the back door, no pun intended, and you'd hang out, and they'd come right off the stage, butt naked, walk up to you. Hey, how you doing? You need my ID? Yeah. My buddy was with me. I'm like, dude, Mike, freaking.
They'd pull it out of their crack.
No, that's all. Bring your ID, and they'd have their ID. They're sitting there, butt naked, filled with glitter, all sweaty, after showing.
Yeah, after you back in the day, the younger days, we'd go to like Emerald City because I worked on all the girls' cars, so we got in for free. We usually drank for free all night. Naked women just get old after a while, just seeing the same ones, especially this one. It's not like a really nice club, so it's kind of like it'd be like the B team at a really nice strip club. Maybe some bullet wound, a little bullet wound or a scar here and there. It is what it is. So
we had another one on the other end of in Pottsville, and I was the same way. It's like, there's a big difference between dropping off a car for Caitlin Nicole, a porn star, Jenna Jameson, or picking up Miss Nude, 1998 or whatever it was back then, 1997. And then you go to the other strip club and the girl's like digging in a dirty sock for money to pay for the damage waiver.
Yeah, And my buddy JG, God, his wife Trina, I think she had to have retired when she was like from everything. She couldn't have been 40. She was smart. She was a smart stripper. She did all the.
She retired as a stripper. Okay, I was worried.
No. She retired. Period. I mean, she banked. They bought several houses, cars, property. And I mean, she never did drugs. She toured and did all like the, because the scam is the amateur nights are never amateurs. They're girls that come from other cities and do the so she would travel around and do those. And they said she was just smart and then just retired. And it's then you have the other ones like my other buddy. He might listen to this. I'm not going to mention his name. Whew, the meth got her. It's the meth.
He said myth at first, but then I realized it was METH.
Yeah. The meth took hold of her. So I don't know what she's doing nowadays, but she was
horrible.
Yeah. But yeah,
it's crazy though. But yeah, I don't know how we got on strippers.
Yeah, I don't know. What are you smoking? Yeah.
Well, I will tell you, I'm going to tell you what I'm smoking right after we come back from our intro, Kev.
All right. I'm Broadleaf Bullies.
What the hell is that?
We're supposed to say
I'm a rookie mistake.
Wow.
I got all stripper eyes.
I know. Got all flush. Talking about the naked ladies, and
I want to end this show quickly.
Yeah. All right, we ready to get your earpiece back in?
Yes.
All right, I'm Broadleaf Bully Kevin.
I'm Broadleaf Bully Kerry.
I'm Broadleaf Bully Jen.
And we are
the
Broadleaf Bullies.
We talk. You listen. We are the Broadleaf Bullies. And here's your hosts, Kev, Kerr, Jessie, and Jen.
Welcome.
All right. What are you smoking tonight, Kerr?
I am smoking the Chaotic 9.
It's the 9th anniversary edition of Ezra Zion.
9th anniversary edition of Ezra Zion.
Chaotic.
Yes.
All right.
It's a limited
I just noticed your name is backwards. The Jen is in front of Kerr.
Well, I know. That's my bad.
I don't care.
I always try and put Jen before me no matter what.
Okay.
Oh, thank you.
I am smoking the American by J.C. Newman. I think this is cigar number 4 for my birthday day.
What'd you have? How did Kevin Cigar Prop start his birthday? And what cigar did you smoke?
And what breakfast did you eat?
What did I smoke this morning? I started off this morning with a Room 101 Daruma. Like a 15-year-old Room 101. After lunch, I had an Acid Cuba Arte, and then I had a little Dunbarton Polpetta, and then now I'm with the American. For breakfast, I had some scrambled eggs, some potatoes, and some diced up cube Taylor ham.
Nice.
And then for lunch, I had an amazing Taylor ham salad sandwich. It was actually really good.
So you have to explain that whole, I have never in my life, and I've probably been eating Taylor ham since I was 2 years old. So, very long time since I'll be 49. Never heard of anyone making Taylor ham salad like you would a ham salad.
I can understand why.
Well, and
it's such a thicker chew to it. It's not as mushy as you can get ham.
Yeah, it's because I sliced it up in probably 1/4-inch slices, and then I cubed it, and then I fried it all so it got nice and crispy.
Yeah,
and then once you pureed it to a chunkiness, it's really soft, just like.
So what did you use as Obviously, you mixed other stuff in it. What were those ingredients?
Yeah, so in my food processor, 1 small jalapeno, one small onion.
Okay.
And then that's it. Just some. I did Miracle Whip.
Oh my God! I love Miracle Whip, but I was afraid you were going to say mayonnaise or something with Taylor ham.
So Miracle Whip, which gives it that sweetness, and then
the tang,
that sweet, it's gone bad.
and then I did the Stogie Road seasoning, and then one of Lars's other ones. I can't remember the name of it.
The Rage.
It wasn't the Rage because I wasn't sure about that one.
That's good.
Yeah, it's I had the Rage.
You used that this morning.
Mm-hmm.
I made some garlic bread tonight for dinner, and then I used the Rage, and then on Gabby's I used Lars's garlic seasoning.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so just mixed it all together. It was still a little chunky. It wasn't like puree. I don't like really like pureed ham salad. I like it to where it's like
you don't want it like a pate.
Yeah, and it was the best ham salad. It just it was just I don't know if it was frying it up because even with regular ham salad, I've never fried up ham. And
you don't fry up the ham. I bet you that frying of the ham and giving it that smokiness.
Yeah,
a little bit.
I have never heard of anyone having Taylor ham
that
salad
flavor to the next level.
I think it did because it just had like that crispiness where it got scorched from the pan, and it just brought out just so much. And it was, I'm telling you, it was just amazing.
I think you've started something new.
It reminds me of like when Jennifer will make Caesar salad.
Yeah.
Or I've actually had chicken salad made with like a roasted chicken where it has that roast flavor to it.
Oh yeah, I bet that would be
well
good.
I found a website which I never knew existed, which is hard to believe, called jerseyporkroll.com, and it actually has all Taylor ham recipes on it, cooking with Taylor ham or pork roll, because they are different. I'll send that to you.
Yeah. Can you submit it? Yes, send that
Kevin,
to me.
Kevin could use that right
There's
about
a Taylor ham pork roll pizza.
Okay.
Well, yeah, you just use it instead of pepperonis. I
mean, BLTTC sandwich.
Yeah,
that I can understand.
Well, I mean, when you really think about it, all you got to do is just think about
enchiladas.
Where you usually use meat and use Taylor ham like you do with Spam, and then put it on that.
There's no Taylor ham salad though. I really think you created something new with that.
Yeah, I'll that must be you come through. So I'll definitely submit that, and then because it was like Kerr said, I think it was just that little bit of smokiness, and it was and it was really good.
Yeah,
so, I just sent it to our Bullies chat.
And in case anybody wants to know, I got 2 giant loaves for free.
Now, how many were those? Like 5-pound loaves? Like those look pretty big in the picture.
They were. I wouldn't say they're. I would say they were a good, maybe a 2-pound.
That's nice because I used to be able to find the 1-pound ones like that, which are great because they're in the burlap. They're like real deal. They're not the pre-sliced.
Yeah, that's what this one is. It's like in the burlap.
But then Buy Low grocery store closed down completely, and that was the only place I can get those from. I can once in a while find them at the deli counter.
Coincidental that you can only find a Buy Low.
I know. At the deli counter, Publix used to carry it, and it was always right next to the Lebanon bologna. So I would take pictures when I was at getting the lunch meat orders, because there's Taylor ham right next to Lebanon bologna. There's Jen and Kerr in the meat case.
Yeah. So I gave one of the loaves to my neighbor Peanut. He loves ham. He loves Spam. He likes this meat in loaf form. And I knew there was no way I was ever going to go through 2 giant. And I didn't know
that's a lot. You could freeze it, chunk it, wrap it in.
Yeah, I was wondering freezing it and then I don't know, thawing it out a year from now, and that's when I'd get to it.
It will work.
How does Taylor ham that's freezer burn? How's that going to taste?
No, it won't be freezer burn. If you really wrap it well in Saran wrap or plastic wrap, and you freeze it, I'll double wrap it in Saran wrap and then put it in a Ziploc bag and put it in the freezer. It will last a good long while. Okay. And it defrosts perfectly.
It has to airtight so it doesn't get moisture in there and freeze, just where the freezer burn comes in.
Yeah,
Dad freezes it all the time.
Yeah, we have the vacuum. Yeah, we have the vacuum sealer thing as well.
Oh, that's even better.
But yeah, I gave it to Peanut, and then because I said he loves all that, and then and I don't know if he's familiar with it. He's from Vermont originally. So,
I doubt it then.
Yeah,
you don't really, unless you're from that tri-state area of New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, maybe Connecticut.
So yeah, I got. It's just weird to get 2 loaves sent to me accidentally. It was my address, somebody else's name.
That's funny.
And
was it even close to your name? Was it Chevin?
No. It was some lady's name. So
did you Google to see who it may have been?
No.
No.
Kevin, when he opened up and saw Taylor ham, I was like,
Yeah. Yeah, those
And
are
it was
pretty good.
packed nicely. It looked like it was in dry ice and everything.
Yeah. Dry ice. It was still everything was melted inside, but they were still cool to the touch. So, but being a smoked meat like that, I mean, I'm sure it's it could probably.
Well, you seem pretty good to us today. So
we've had some meats sent down to us that were not cool to the touch.
Yeah.
My dad. Oh my God.
He tried sending like fresh sausage and pierogies from Pennsylvania, not wrapped or.
He used like cool packs and bags and like bags of ice.
It was hot.
You got it. Did he at least have like the aluminum foil bag? It's shiny on both sides.
Nope.
Yeah, those are the specialty. Yeah.
No.
It was in like a shoebox. It was just wrapped and sent.
We got freaking sausage that was probably cooked because of the heat, and pierogies that I probably could have just dipped in butter and ate them. And I was like,
"Oh man!"
Like, well, do you know how much dry ice is? I'm like, Dad, never mind. Appreciate it, but
yeah, we had a buddy of ours just send us a whole bunch of smoked bacon that he sent some to us, and then Abe at Smoke Inn, and it was fantastic bacon. But he bought one of those styrofoam coolers, put the bacon, packed it with dry ice, put the lid on it, and then just duct taped the lid, and then just slapped the shipping label on top.
That's perfect. You figure that's what Omaha Steaks does.
Yeah, but it wasn't in a box. It was just
they don't send it in a box.
Omaha
They'll
Steak
saran wrap
actually
the
has
outside of it, shrink wrap.
and it's not like your freaking styrofoam cooler that you buy at freaking the store.
No, that's what this was.
Wow, yeah, because theirs are very, very thick.
I've seen those.
Yeah,
and
ship it like that.
But usually I've seen those packed inside of a cardboard box as well.
No.
Like the really thick.
I've never seen those.
No, never. We've gotten ours. Okay, now when I was we had a manager that used to send steaks all the time, and send a styrofoam. Boom,
I used to
boom.
love them. Their quality changed.
They did.
Couple that we've gotten in the most recently.
Been very disappointing.
Yeah, it wasn't the same quality when you cooked them, but they used to be great.
Yeah, this was $1 styrofoam cooler.
Nice. Like a 1/4 inch thin.
Oh yeah, it was, and then just a duct tape lid. So.
Oh my God,
That's
I
awesome.
can't. How does that even survive a trip?
I don't know. But it did. So Ryan sent some great bacon. But yeah, I've never seen anything shipped like that before.
That's freaking funny.
I can't believe someone didn't put a hole in the side of it.
Well, that's what I mean. I've gotten boxes that are like
crushed,
awesomely like heavy boxes that are crushed. It's like, I'm sure when they get that, they're like that kind of. It's you have the handle with Kerr signed on shit. That is just screams handle with Kerr. So you almost are like, yeah, throw me. Oh shit, dude, don't throw me that. That's gonna break apart. Just hand it over here, real
that's
easy.
Like the hat that we got you for your birthday. The post office delivery guy that now just walks the boxes up to us. He's like, I'm so sorry, it would just arrive this way. Like he wanted to make sure we knew he didn't do this.
He's
it was
like
and it's a huge heavy box, and it was just crushed.
Yeah, our mailman's cool as shit, man. I love him. He's great.
Our mail lady Kim is just fantastic, and her daughter lives across the street, but Kim goes above and beyond.
Yeah,
to make sure that everything is perfect. They don't forget about me when she takes time off. She makes sure the substitutes are on their fucking A game. Yeah. Yeah,
we also have a UPS guy is pretty regular.
Yeah, I like
every once in a while we gotta do UPS. We had a UPS girl came out the other time. She's a tiny little thing. She's young, but normally it's the same UPS guy. They're used to it by now. So,
exactly. Same as ours. Sometimes like if I know that I'm not going to get home in time, I'll ask him. I go, hey, keep an eye out for the UPS guy. He's got a package for me. I got to sign. And then sometimes he's there early in the afternoon. But if he knows that a package has to be signed, he'll make sure I'm on the end of his route. So, he knows what time I'm getting home. And then if he drive by the house and nobody was home and it was right around like the 3:30, he'd drive down to the bus stop for the kids and see if Jessica and I were there.
Our guys actually, I've been in here with the garage door open doing some work and doing something, and he'll pull up and I'll hear the door close, and I'll hear him inch up, and he'll go, "Hey!" I'll look at me. He goes, "You got some cigars in here?" And he'll just drive off so it doesn't sit in the mailbox within a hot day. Like,
Yeah.
"Oh, man, thanks, bro."
Oh yeah,
That's why I know he's in a hurry, because
Yeah.
usually he'll walk them up.
Yeah, we had a little petite thing, UPS girl at work. I don't know, probably a couple months ago, bringing tires out of the back of the truck, and then Luke, the boss, goes, "Hey, you gonna go help her with that?" And I go, "It's her fucking job."
Yep.
I go, "She knows what she signed up for." I go, "She's got to have a minimum." I go, "They're tires. She can roll them." And he's like, "Why you got to be a dick?" I'm like, "Nobody helps me with my job." I go, "Some random people don't come help me pick up a tire or work on a car." I go, why don't I go help her do her job? You know, I was in a bad mood that day. It was hot, sweaty.
It's like Seth Rogen and 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Yeah.
Look at her. You know why I hired her? Because of you. She can't even carry an iPod. I hired her for the warehouse.
Yeah. But yeah, rule of thumb is when Kevin is hot and sweaty or hungry, you leave him alone. Don't mess with me.
So is that the majority of the day?
Yeah, no, that's no, it's usually just for like a couple hours in the afternoon. It's like between like 1 and 3 when it's like boiling hot in Florida. It's just leave me alone. I mean, because I'll just start yelling at people, and then that's
You don't
it.
have air conditioning in your bays?
No.
I've seen signs around like Greenville that they keep the bay doors closed because they say like there's an AC sign.
Oh, usually those are like really, really nice dealerships like BMW, Mercedes, Audi, Jaguar, the local Lamborghini dealership. Like all those technicians work.
No, I thought it was
That's
just
when
like,
they run up and they'll put the freaking sleeve over the exhaust so they can exhaust it so you don't die.
Yeah. And then a buddy of mine works at the BMW dealership in Sarasota, and there's a guy that just cleans up after the techs. He just mops all day long, wiping stuff down, because they do have like a giant picture window, for in case the customer wants to look out, and see that their cars are clean. If you come in and you've got like a can of soda or something in your center console or in your cup holder or a bottle of water, when you go to pick it up, they swap it out. So if you got like a half a can of Diet Coke, they'll put a brand new ice cold one in moments before you get in your car. Same with the bottled water. It's the exact same water.
Interesting.
And they'll pull a full one in there.
Can it be anything, or is it just drinks?
Is that when you're like, "Yo, man, I had rum in that Coke. What are you doing?"
So it's just beverages, and that's it. Yeah, it's the little things that they do when you pay for a $500 oil change.
Yeah, you don't do shit now. God
No.
almighty, they used to freaking the dealerships. Whenever we take cars in, get them oil changed, they'd vacuum out the car. Sometimes they'd run it through the wash. Now you get it with more garbage in it. Sometimes they don't even take the freaking paper.
Yeah,
the paper floor mat out.
Yeah, and the big thing when I was a service manager at Walmart, we would vacuum the car and then wash the windshield, for an oil change, go above and beyond, and then people would complain, "Hey, there's still a little bit of dirt on the like the passenger floorboard." Yeah, I got 90% of the fucking dirt out for free. Live with it. Or like there's a little spot, there's like a bug still on the windshield. Yeah, I got the other 9,000 bugs off. Live with that one, so.
Well, yeah, and I was always happy when they did that, but now it's like, hey, listen, not only are you not cleaning the floor, you're actually adding garbage to the floor. You're leaving a paper floor mat in there. I don't want a paper floor mat in there.
I don't understand why they leave it. We put floor mats in and seat covers to pull the cars in and test drive them, but we pull all that out. I don't understand why people leave. I mean, I know it's advertising as well. If you but like, who cares? Like advertising for the place I just spent money at. I know where I was at.
Yeah.
So,
and plus it'll irritate me. But hey, so what was the cigars you're smoking? Just today. We start talking about cigars, and then you went off on your Taylor hand.
He did tell him.
Yeah, I
he did his cigars first, and then he did food
with the American. Yeah.
And
But
we stopped at the
you said it's your
Taylor
fourth cigar.
Yeah, the American.
What was your other three?
That was the Daruma by Room 101.
Right.
Acid.
The acid, the polpetta.
I didn't
Were
hear
you,
that.
did you black out for a
I
second?
think I
think
think I might have
so.
fucking blacked out.
He may have
Yeah.
had a TIA.
Yeah. So,
I think I did black out for a second. Holy shit.
Yeah, he went through it, and then he started with his food, his breakfast.
I remember him
ham
talking
salad.
about Room 101, and then it was fucking ham salad.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know.
So
They're
what did
like-
you have for dinner?
I did like a Stouffer's baked ziti, like a frozen meal, and then Gabby she ended up wanting a frozen pot pie. So I made
Chicken or turkey?
chicken. So
Joe used to have those all the time.
yeah. Oh, I love a pot. I like the Marie Callender ones. They're bigger.
Mhm.
They're just a little bigger. Then they have like the Marie Callender's family size pot pie, but it's like there's really not enough for two people, but it's like a little bit more than one person could eat. So we don't buy those.
No, I used to just get Joe this. I think it's Stouffer's, the little
freaking pot
chicken
pie.
pot.
With
They're
the
like
faux
99
meat,
cents.
Oh, okay.
the chunks of faux meat.
Yeah,
I love
like
it.
5 minutes in the microwave. He used to eat those for breakfast all the time.
I remember when I was a kid, before we didn't have microwaves or anything. You always had to put them in the oven.
Takes
Yeah, I
forever.
still do. It takes an hour and a half.
Like,
Oh my god, hour and a
Yeah.
half.
so-
Oh, yeah. Because every now and then Jess will be like, "Hey, you want a pot pie for dinner?" I go, "Yeah, put it in. We'll have it tomorrow." And it's
Yeah. Because they're frozen. Because I used to make it.
Fucking bricks.
I know. I mean, like if you drop it on your foot, it would freaking break a toe.
Oh yeah.
And then we used to put it in the oven in like late morning on Saturdays, and then I'd have a perfect pot pie to watch Creature Double Feature at noon.
I like making pot pies. I'll get like my cheap method is to get a rotisserie chicken
You make a great
and use that, and just comes out so good with like a Pillsbury crust on it, and
fantastic.
oh
pot
my
pie.
god, just so good.
I
Yeah,
think you need to make that pot pie and then fry it, so you can have a fried pot pie.
A fried pot pie.
There you go.
So, but we used to make them in restaurants all the time, just like the big ceramic, really, really thick, bowls, and then you put the pot pie mix, and then put your puff pastry in it,
Yeah.
and then bake it. Really, really good.
Jen makes a really good pot pie and a really good chicken and dumplings.
Yeah. Also, shepherd's pie too.
Yeah, you
Haven't
make
made
good
that in a
shepherd's
while.
pie.
I haven't had good chicken and dumplings in like 10 years.
I have a great
Dude.
recipe.
I
So
have
good.
I've had garbage chicken and dumplings like several times, but I haven't had good.
And I don't like it soupy. I want it to be
want it-
hearty.
I want it to be like a stew,
That's
like
how I
a-
make
a,
it.
A thicker,
Yep.
Jen, I'm telling you, Kevin, it's
Next
to the
time you're up
point
here.
where when my brother-in-law, when we were living in our old house, he came down to visit and look for a job because they wanted to move down here, and Jen made pot pie and
Chicken and dumplings.
I'm sorry, yeah. And I went in for it, and that motherfucker, he ate it, but then he ate all the fucking dumplings.
He ate all the dumplings from it.
What?
The son of
It's
a
like
bitch
that
left
is
me
like
nothing
a
but
mortal
stew
sin.
and some chicken and some cat, and I'm going, Uncle Bob,
Freaking
like,
dumplings were gone.
dude. He goes, "Those dumplings are great." I said, "Yeah, no shit. You left me with gravy." Like the idea behind chicken and dumplings is it's in the name.
I make it once it gets cooler up here. I just,
And he ate your chili that time.
yeah,
too.
that was the same trip that
Same
I made
trip.
my confetti chili with the corn in it, and it's so
Yeah.
freaking good. And I just wanted nachos when I got home. Freaking gone. He ate that too.
That was the next morning. It was like, Uncle Bob, hey, how's the job search going? Listen, you got to go tomorrow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you ate
We
our
love you
food
visiting
and
for
you
a
ruined
week.
Tiger Woods.
We played
Yeah.
Tiger
Golf.
Woods golf. You ruined it for us.
Yeah.
You ate the chicken. You ate the dumplings out of the chicken and dumplings.
Yeah,
And you ate freaking Jennifer's chili that she was salivating for all day. So we want you to move down here, but live elsewhere.
so good
Yeah.
thing he got the job right away.
Yeah, when years ago when we went to North Carolina, I think it was our first trip maybe the second trip to North Carolina that Jessica and I took. Went back to see some of her old friends, and they we were going to go over there for dinner, and they asked what I want, and I go, I've never had like a really traditional like Southern meal, and these are live in the mountains traditional, and then they made like greens, and they made fried chicken. And just this whole big, oh my god, it was amazing. Just this.
I make great collard
Yeah.
greens too.
Yeah.
Just so good with a little bit of heat in it.
Oh,
So
Jen's
freaking
collard
good.
greens are freaking.
I tell you,
For a white girl from Jersey,
Yeah.
her collard greens are on point.
Jess makes the best Brussels sprouts I've ever had in my life.
I make pretty great Brussels.
It's like
also.
these roasted with.
Yeah.
I don't even know if she was here, but they're hands down the best Brussels sprouts
I roast them as well. And I love finding like a couple of the leaves that fall off and they're like super crispy, and you just get that like.
I'm a fan. I've always been a fan of Brussels sprouts.
I haven't because I've only had bad my whole life.
Well, you see, the trick with Brussels sprouts, in my opinion, is you have to find the right size Brussels sprout, right?
Yeah.
So I like medium to small Brussels sprouts. They're perfect, especially when you cook them. They're if you get too big of a Brussels sprout, it feels like you're eating a small head of lettuce, and it's a little too much.
Like cabbage.
Yeah, like cabbage. So I like them medium to small. I like them boiled perfect with some butter on them. But Jennifer bakes them.
I like to roast them. I don't like them mushy.
No, neither do I.
And actually, I went to a place up in we've had them before, but I was in Delaware, where they deep fry them.
I've never had it.
Yeah, as an appetizer.
Deep fry them, and
do they coat them?
Yeah, they well, actually, what they do is they deep fry them, and they have like bacon with them too, like little bacon bits.
Yeah,
and then I think they put like some sort of oil or something like that on. They're freaking phenomenal.
When you deep fry them, though, the problem is the water content in them. Wow, do they pop?
Yeah.
So like if you do it at home, you definitely want to have something
like a
for the
screen
cover
or something. But I've had them deep fried. I went with my coach, Coach Knapp, when I was up visiting after Coach Strass died, and he's like, "This was Coach Strass's favorite place to eat," and I had those freaking. I was like, "Dang, these are freaking fantastic." It's taking something very healthy and making it unhealthy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you who can't cook is Jessica's mom. I don't know. She met Jessica. She's like, "Oh, you should try my mom's macaroni and cheese. She always makes it. It's like the best. That's what she's known for." And then just like when we got there for dinner, I looked at it and I'm like, God, if this is what she's known for, the rest of this meal is going to be garbage.
So how was her mac and cheese? Was it just super dry? Or
it's dry. It's like there's no effort into this mac and cheese. Like literally Kraft in the powder box is better.
Geez.
She said she's known for it. She didn't say it was a good being known for.
Yeah, it's like nothing.
She's known for making really shitty mac and cheese.
Yeah, like now, her brother Donnie, he'll make like these bacon wrapped shrimp that are to die for. But it's just she's not a good cook.
I make a great mac and cheese too.
Yeah. She made me a tuna sandwich. She knows I like tuna, and tuna's not allowed in this house because Jessica can't stand the smell of it. So I went over there one day to pick the kids up. And she's like, "Oh, hey, I made because Patty, Jess's mom, is the only one that eats tuna in the house as well." She's like, "Well, I heard you like tuna. Here's a tuna sandwich to take with you." How do you mess up tuna? Tuna is just tuna and Miracle Whip,
or mayo, one or the other,
and some relish. And it's like, how'd you fuck this up, Patty?
You guys and your fucking.
I used to eat tuna with Miracle Whip all the time. Well, that's what I grew up with. But now we don't really have it in the house, so I'll just use Duke mayonnaise in our tuna salad.
Yeah. I mean, I'll eat mayonnaise because everything's made with mayonnaise, but it's just not better. Everything's better with Miracle Whip.
Down, you were freaking. You both have been hooked on that freaking commercial. Everything's better with Miracle Whip.
When you go into most restaurants and order anything that has like a mayonnaise base, it's all Miracle Whip. It's all salad dressing. They don't use mayonnaise in restaurants. It goes bad.
I didn't think of that.
Oh, I can tell when I have freaking Miracle Whip because its taste has a sweet, tangy, like freaking spoiled.
I'll never forget when I had you and Joe try the Velveeta with Miracle Whip on Wonder Bread. Joe. He has such a wicked gag reflex.
Whoa.
We saw it earlier today, giving Cooper a bath, and he had like a little piece of grass sticking out his butthole. And Joe wasn't even looking at that. Joe's just holding Cooper's head, and he's just like throwing up in his mouth. But when he took that bite, he hates mayonnaise, like hates it. So when it hit his mouth, and he's like, "Oh, I taste the cheese," and then the Miracle Whip kicked in.
Joe and I we almost clunked heads running for the garbage to spit it out.
I could literally just eat Miracle Whip sandwiches. It's that good.
We had a freaking
Oh God, that's
we
gross.
had a girl in our neighborhood who was her mom and dad, I think, were brother and sister. So
Yeah.
that's what she used to do. She used to walk around the neighborhood eating mayonnaise sandwiches, Kev.
My mom
Yeah.
would make tomato
She
sandwiches
did.
with, a fresh Jersey tomato with Miracle Whip on it.
Well, it's
on white
different.
bread.
My mom would do the exact same thing. My mom would do that. And then my dad, oh God, my dad would eat Lebanon bologna sandwiches with ketchup on it.
Wow.
That's just
That's a little rough.
that's freaking nastier than hell.
I can't imagine bologna and
And I've
ketchup.
done, no,
I
it's
can't imagine
terrible.
bologna and ketchup.
And onion sandwiches, onion and mayonnaise.
Oh my God, no.
Yeah, I like a BLT with like a 1/4-inch thick slab of an onion. Ah, that's good.
I love onions, but it depends on the onion because onions mess me up.
Red
man.
onion
do they?
joints, yeah.
Oh, Jen thought it would be really nice to get me. I like chicken salad.
Yeah.
So as I'm working, I like to eat quick things. So she got these pre-chicken salad, these cups of pre-chicken salad made.
Like individuals.
Yeah.
And the first one I pulled out, I put on bread, and I was like, okay, it had cranberries and
Almonds in it.
the summer
the fancy chicken salad. Yeah.
the summer white mom chicken salad.
Yeah.
I ate that, and I was like, I could taste the onions in it. And then it was like a half an hour later, I'm like, oh, what? I'm like, you're not gonna want to come near me. Just give me the Gas X and freaking clear the room. And it's one of those moments like when we're in bed and the blankets are on us, and I let one rip, and I'm laying there going, all right.
Please don't move.
I'm like, if I shift, I realize something bad's gonna happen. And I have to shift. And I shift, and within 2 seconds, I hear Jen go, oh my God. Oh my God. And I was like, it was that fucking
because
chicken
it's
salad
like
you got.
rancid smell. It's not even like normal gas smell.
It's like freaking
something
hiding
died up
a
his
decaying
ass.
freaking animal under the sheet.
It's like a skunk that crawled out of the ass of a dead skunk.
Exactly.
And honestly, at least a skunk odor has some sweetness to it. This is like coming upon a decaying body.
Yeah. One of those that's going to itch when it dries.
Yeah. Ooh, I gotta tell you, man,
onions can be brutal to
especially
you.
the ones that when you let it rip, you can actually feel the gas like move down your leg when it's like when it's looking like when it's looking
like that heavy.
Well, when it's that heavy, it's looking for it's looking for some area to escape. So it's like you go down, you can be like, yeah, that one escaped down my left leg out my boxer shorts because that was the only available exit.
Because I know when his intestines are rumbling because he'll take the sheet and he like forms it around them to make a cocoon.
Do. I tuck it in.
He tucks it in.
I
and
swear
he's
to
like,
God.
and he's just like so
just
super
like,
stiff.
And I'll be like, Jen, option here. Do you want to sleep on the couch? Or I may. Why? I'm like, I'm just warning you. 5 minutes later, she's like, oh my God. I'm like, I'm sorry. I don't tell you. Turn the fan on.
Because sometimes I like the blanket up even because we keep the house obviously, cold.
Sometimes it's a direct freaking shot right to the freaking olfactory.
And the ceiling fan's on, so I just always like the blanket like touching my face. So I have to pull it up, and then it's like a wave, kind of tidal wave coming over.
Sometimes when I'm a little I'm pissed off at her or something, and I'll see it like that. I'll let it rip, and then I'll move, and I'll wait. I'll know when it's gonna hit because it's almost like this fist.
Yeah.
Boom, comes this green gaseous fist just comes through, and it's almost an immediate response. It's like, yeah.
But I'm the same as Jen. Like Jess doesn't like having the blankets. I like having them touching my face.
I like the blanket.
I like
and I want it to be cold.
Yeah, I like the cocoon. Like I'm fine, tiny spaces. I love MRI machines because they're tight and they're touching you. I don't know what that says about me. Like there's probably a psychologist that would say I wasn't loved enough. I don't know, but I like tiny enclosed.
You want to return to the womb.
Yeah.
Kerr just uses a sheet.
I have a sheet, and then what happens is she has the blanket, right? And then I'll have just the corner blanket like on my chest.
With the
right
tag
here.
on the end.
With the tag on the fucking end.
Because it's always backwards.
Smack in my face, right? And I hate it every time. I'm like, Jen, why don't you fucking put this blanket? It's the tags in my face. So then every once in a while, when it does get a little bit chilly and I want the blankets, I got
I'm just
freaking the
wrapped,
blanket
because then
hog.
I'll
She's
turn on
like
my side.
she's like a burrito,
Yeah.
and I'm like trying to unfreaking do the burrito, and I'm like, oh.
See that's the opposite. Like I said, because the doll, well, Stella's usually in the bed with us, so she takes up a little blanket. I take up a lot. Jess has like this much blanket, and then she's all trying to get underneath the tiny blanket, and then I've got like excess blanket. I'm wrapped up, and there's excess hanging.
The
off.
excess is hanging off me, and Cooper's lying on it on the floor
Cooper,
because he's next to me.
And I have this much blanket.
Yeah.
I have my corner.
Cooper has his blanket.
The
too.
largest part that's covering me is the freaking tag from the freaking corner up in my face, and I'm just like, man, this just sucks. Like,
and if I have to get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, he just steals it. It's like you almost have to say, do you really have to get up to pee? Because I know the comfort of the blanket I have is going to be completely gone.
Yeah, well, you're not exactly quiet when you get up, because the other night, freaking, she like wakes up and is screaming at me. You're digging. Something's digging in my back.
It felt like someone was stabbing me in the back.
She's screaming bloody murder, and I looked at her and I go, "It's my pillow." Like it's not my elbow. She's woken me up. She's woken me up with my elbow in her side or up in her face, and has woken me up and said, "Hey, you're getting ready to freaking give me a Charles Barkley." I
don't know what that is.
The elbow comes out the rebound. But the other night she woke up like screaming.
I did. I was
and
screaming.
I'm like, it's a fucking
something's stabbing me.
It's a soft pillow. That's all it is.
If Jess wakes up and it's like 3 or 4 a.m., she just doesn't come back to bed. She knows she doesn't. There's no room left for her. It's because Stella will start the night with us in bed, and then she goes lays on her bed, and then as soon as one of us gets up, Stella hops in that spot. She likes that warm
Cooper
spot.
can't. He's too fat and old. He won't hop up on bed anymore.
He used to.
Yeah, he used to a lot.
So Stella will curl up in her spot, and then I'll curl up, like move towards the middle, so there's no room at the end for Jessica. So she just finishes out the night in the living room.
See, I when years ago when Cooper was younger, I get up. I go to the bathroom. I go to the bathroom and come back, and he'd be in my spot.
Yeah, he's on Kerry's pillow,
and I'm like,
everything.
Same thing. He's like. Not like a dog rolled up at the bottom. He's laying spread out with his head on my pillow.
Yeah.
And then he just looks up at me. And I'm like, Cooper. And then he rolls on his back like I'm going to rub his belly. I'm like, you're in my effing spot, man.
Yeah.
Like, off. And then he's.
That's what Stella does. Whoever is the first that gets up, and she just. And Stella's like 8 feet long. Like when she wants to spread out, she's a small dog, but. When you get everything all stretched out, like, how are you this big?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate it. The freaking he's too old now, and the new bed's too high.
Once in a while, like if you're up early and I'm able to sleep in, he'll jump up if I really kind of coax him, and then he'll stay there.
Well, he can't. He can't jump up. The
couch is basically.
We gave him a bath tonight. And he was running in from the yard, and it was a little bit wet, and his legs kind of slipped out from underneath in the back, and he just kind of dropped and got. He's getting a little old. Koopy's getting old.
Yeah.
Yeah. He'd never get up on our bed. I mean, our bed probably sits about 4 feet off the ground. I mean, we have a custom frame that's.
Yeah.
I mean, just the frame. I mean, it's easily a foot underneath the bed.
Really?
So it's super tall.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, we so we went to Brevard on Saturday yesterday.
I saw that you checked in there. What was that? What was Brevard? Because we have Brevard County here in Florida.
Brevard is a small town up in North Carolina.
It's like Asheville.
It's like a smaller Asheville, Hendersonville. I mean, there's a couple of really cool, and it's in Transylvania County, so it's great. Like I used to work up in there.
I didn't know you had a Transylvania County.
Oh my God! When I used to work up there, there's a Transylvania hospital. And there's a Transylvania news. Yeah. So I was going to say, so you think Transylvania is freaking hilarious. But Brevard's this cute little town, went up to a couple of antique stores. And the first place we went to is literally when you roll in, it's like, if you buy a house that's like it's from the 1800s, early 1900s, and you're remodeling it, redoing it, this is the place you want to go.
Yeah, if you want all authentic stuff, it was unbelievable.
It's
the salvage
fantastic.
place that they had.
Or if you have a house that you just want to freaking just completely redo with all old stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's incredible
Yeah.
what they have in there. I mean, incredible what they have. The woods, the salvaged woods that they have, the doors. I mean, the freaking. I mean, you name it. I mean, that's why I took that picture of the scoreboard, right?
Yeah.
And then we left and walked across the street to where they had the bathrooms, and they have a real big open area that's got a roof over it that they hold events, and then picnic tables, and a fire pit, and a window, and a bar. And I'm like, you look at this place, it's like, man, perfect spot perfect open spot if you wanted to have a cigar event, but it's in Brevard.
Yeah, there's nothing around. There's no
It's
place
like,
to stay at.
You know, the road that we had to go to get there.
If you get car sick, you can puke in for an hour.
It's a well-known road that motorcyclists like to ride on because it's very hairpin turn all the way up. Even when we're on the GPS and you see, you know,
you weren't near the tail of the dragon, were you?
We were near that. We didn't go that way, but you can get to it from where we were.
Yeah,
like we went past Caesar's Head and a bunch of other like waterfalls, but it's to go. It's about 15 miles long. It takes you almost an hour because you're going about 15 miles an hour around just these constant
it's crazy.
Okay,
absolutely beautiful out.
Yeah,
too.
yeah. Buddy of mine, Butch, has been lives up there now. Justin and I have been a couple times there. And those roads around there. So I know what.
No cell service whatsoever.
Yeah, no, I mean you're
like if something happens, you're stuck.
Yeah,
got it. What?
Yeah, I say to my cell service when we were up there. My last week, I'm a Wi-Fi hotspot. So like when I would go into like certain like different little towns, like I was the Wi-Fi. Like if you had, like there was no Wi-Fi, but so
it's like satellite phones. That and satellite phones. The only way you're going to get communication.
Yeah.
So Brevard, we went there. Then we went into another really cool antique store
called Mantique.
Mantique, and it had a humidor, and it had cigars in it.
Well, it's funny. Even before that,
is that what you tried to send me the picture of?
Maybe
because you sent me the picture of a weird looking person like in a Walmart, but then you said humidor, and I'm like, I didn't put two and two together. Like humidor.
I didn't understand why you sent that either. It was an odd looking person with like and I don't know where that person was from.
Which
because it looked like he had a fanny pack on. I didn't understand it either.
Did I send it to the Bullies chat?
I don't remember.
Or was it our...
But there was an ashtray even before we saw the humidor, and like they had all cigar antiques, and there was an ashtray, and there was like a really dried out cigar there. And I'm telling Kerr, I'm like, you have
it was a goof on Dez. Instead of cigar cabin, it's cigar cabinet. Because there's a guy dressed like a girl with a beard.
Yeah. So I didn't.
What's the word? Yeah, I didn't understand.
Okay, so I thought
there's no humidor. It says cigar cabinet.
Okay,
when you I didn't understand it either.
When you just said cigar humidor, and I'm like, oh, is that what you're trying to send me a picture of?
No, it was a goof. It was. I was in a hurry. It was a goof.
A day later.
It was a goof. I was goofing with Dez. I was goofing on Dez because I was like, hey, there's a cigar cabin, and then this guy who looks like Dez, who's in a dress, is cigar cabinet.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Anyway,
I thought it was funny when I said
there
it.
was this dried out.
Why I didn't get a freaking response?
There was this dried out cigar in this antique ashtray, and I'm like, Kerr, you should put one of your cigars in this ashtray, and I'll just take that old dried out one, because that's when we first walked in, because they had all Mantique antiques. And then as you turn around the corner, that's where we saw the humidor that they were selling.
They had
cigars
in there. They had like
supposedly fourth generation, blah blah.
Well,
blah.
It's basically they had like a 6x60 Connecticut. They had a Toro Maduro and a Toro Habano. It's basically what they had. And it was a nice little humidor, and busted up. And I was like, "Oh, you guys sell cigars?" He's like, "Yeah." And he's like, the guy who owns the place is a big cigar guy. And I was like, hey, really? Guess what I have in my pockets? Woo! Here's some cigars.
So we left one
gave
of
him a
each.
business card, and follow up with them just because it's a local thing. But
I'm gonna have to come up there, like I said, when we get ready to build the cigar lounge, because I want some cool stuff. So hopefully we just
They
got
had
work.
great. I thought their
Yeah.
prices were a little high, but
hell?
they really had some nice stuff. It was 4 floors too.
You know, that is the sad part. Not the sad, really. It's hard to find those finds anymore at antique stores because they know what they have. So it's not like you can go into an antique store and really find like these hidden gems. And it's like, oh my god, and it's just because everybody wants to resell. So the sellers know what they have.
Yep.
So a lot of times I'm like, I don't want to resell this. I want this. It's cool. I understand it's 80 years old, but it's a piece of crap. It's half broken.
They really had some beautiful things. It was just their prices were a little salty.
But the first place we stopped at, right? They had
it's called Underground Salvage.
Underground. I mean, they had those big not barn doors. What are those? The hanging doors.
Like the barn doors?
No, they weren't barn doors.
They're the doors. They're big wooden doors, and then they had the big metal.
They were probably
wheels
like at least 10 feet tall, if not taller. They were huge.
I can't remember what they call them anymore.
I don't remember.
They're not barn doors. They didn't have that traditional barn door look to them.
Yeah,
but they're beautiful wood, and
almost
then
like a railroad door.
They kind of hang on a pulley like Jen said with wheels, and they actually have a rail, and they open and close that way.
Yeah, that's same thing we have. It's a barn door.
Oh, is that what? Okay. Well,
We
it was bigger than a barn door.
I can't remember what they called. They weren't named barn doors.
No, they weren't. I don't remember.
So I think maybe that might be like a new name of what they're calling them now. But yeah, we have like these big wheels on ours.
Yeah,
and they have a metal track.
Yeah,
and then it rolls back, and you can. We only have one that goes one way, but you can have them where they split.
Yeah, these were two massive, beautiful freaking doors, and they're like $2,500 for the pair. But I'm sitting there thinking, if I'm gonna have a room big enough to display these these doors, it'd be worth it.
Yeah,
I mean, incredible.
The light fixtures they had, huge.
And that's not a bad price. We had our barn door made, I got some really nice wheels, a beautiful track. I mean, it was like, I want to say right around $1,300 to have one door and the track made.
Mm-hmm.
So $2,500 for a pair, that's really not a bad, not a bad.
And then
price.
outside, like when you pull up, they just have these huge racks just of all wood. Like they salvage everything. They had these ridiculously big tree trunks so you can cut wood from. Like it was pretty impressive.
Yeah, they call them sliding barn doors, but for some reason they didn't have the same. They didn't have it as
there's probably a like an older a true name for it, and they're probably like the barn door is just what we call it
right
now.
yeah because I had that. Even the ones I'm looking at now, they have that barn door kind of look to them, but they had a couple of them around this place. But like Jen said, beautiful light fixtures. They had furniture that was just fantastic furniture. Whatever you could think of, they had. And then when you went outside, it was even the wood that they had outside was ridiculous.
Yeah. So we'll definitely take a trip up there because I definitely want to spend even after the room is done. I told Jessica we don't need to be in it. We have a studio, we have a lounge, so I want to make it perfect beforehand. So I told her if it takes 6 months to decorate it and find everything, because that's what we want. Old vintage wood, even like the ceiling fans that we're going to put up. So we're going with fan motion or Fanamotion. So you have one old, like a vintage, motor that mounts on the wall. And then it's a pulley system with belts.
Yeah.
So the pulley will go to one fan, and then the next set of belts go to the other fan.
Oh,
so
cool.
You can have some cool fans that are belt driven.
Wow, that's neat looking.
Yeah.
The one thing, what did I see in there?
The tin.
No, not
for
the tin.
Ceilings.
No, was it the winch?
Oh yeah.
It was like this ridiculously huge barn winch that
outside.
I was like, that's the kind of shit that you just would put in a freaking big room, like get it and have it hang there and be like, what's that? It's an old barn winch. Why do you have it there? Because I want it there.
That's
It
what we
looked so
yeah.
freaking cool.
That's what we want, is just like conversation pieces, like an old barn winch, just cool stuff. And
what do you use that for? Conversation.
Yeah, and then like the tin, the metal, I'd like to find some that's all rusty, kind of like the picture you sent us, to where it's just just that corrugated
The bathroom door.
Sheet metal.
Oh yeah. They had a
doors,
bunch of. They had some tins. They had a whole bin of tins of just old tins, not like the nice shiny shit that you can buy at Lowe's. Like this was the old school.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I looked up ways, because like I said, I was going to buy some at Lowe's, and then you take muriatic pool acid, and then you spray it and just leave it outside, and it'll really start to rust and get a cool patina. But those tins, like the pictures you sent me, those are just beautifully they're just old. They're just a natural, a piece of tin that tells a story.
Yeah, they had they had some big freaking metal thing. It looked like a freaking engine. Just like I don't know what the hell it was. It was very rustic looking, but they just had all sorts of shit. They had old sinks. They had a sitz bath in there.
Oh, it was beautiful.
Oh my god! It was
a what?
It looks like a giant sink, but it's actually for you to, like, almost if you took a bathtub and cut it in half, but it had to be wider. Think of a sink that's bigger, that should be a bathtub, but it isn't. It's a sitz bath, so you can sit in it.
SITZ, I think is the way it's spelled. Okay. And it was like one of those things. Like, I want to buy this. Where are you going to put it? I don't know yet.
Either you have a really big kitchen, or it's just a tiny bathroom, and you can't put a shower and everything there, so you use that.
Oh, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a really cool place. And even the guy, when we were talking, he was super nice. I was like, "You have a bathroom?" He's like, "Yeah, it's across the street." I'm like, "Man, this place is beautiful." He goes, "Yeah." He said, "We get a lot of people who are restoring homes that can't find shit, and they come here and they find it."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I had to give them the history of St. Francis.
Yeah, they had a huge St. Francis statue. This thing was carved out of wood. It was
about as tall, a little bit taller than me, and it was wood and it was big. They're like, "What's that?" The guy's like, "God, St. Francis." He goes, "Oh," the guy goes, "I gotta think back to my Catholic days. He's the patron saint of." I was like, "He's the patron saint of animals, because he can talk to the animals." He said he's the first saint, the first person also to get the stigmata.
Really?
Yeah.
St. Francis? Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And they're like, "Oh, thanks for the history lesson." I was like, "Yep, that's 12 years of Catholic school."
Yeah. Now, speaking of like old houses, have you been following online Rob Zombie? He's redoing the Munsters. I think it's going to be a Munsters movie.
Oh, really?
He's actually creating somewhere out in Hollywood, Mockingbird Lane.
Oh,
really?
Nice.
All of the houses. He's creating this neighborhood, and then it's like all these cookie cutter houses, and then at the end of the street, at the end of the cul-de-sac,
1313 Mockingbird Lane,
and it's the Munsters house.
Is he going to do a comedy?
I don't. There's really no info. He's posting on his Instagram updates of like the mask and all the costumes and the house, but there's no details about what's going on. Because if I remember correct, I've been following it for like a year now. I think he wanted to do a series, but then like it couldn't get picked up, so he's just going to do a movie. But there's a lot of people like, oh, so if he's building this neighborhood, if the movie does well, are they going to redo the series? And it's.
I tell you what, Rob Zombie movies are the Rob Zombie movies. They're just so different and out there, and almost kind of takes you back to this like very graphic genre. It really has that feel to it. But his remake of Halloween, brilliant.
Yeah, I never saw it, but everybody said it was good because Rob Zombie is a horror movie buff. Like, I've read interviews, like he knows everything about every horror movie ever made, ever. And he is just, just an aficionado.
His movies, I like. They're kind of like a campy B movie.
Yeah.
Very gratuitous violence, and it's always naked chicks, and just your typical, horror movie. But it gets a little, whatever. But I'm a big fan of the Halloween movie, right? I remember when it came out, the original movie.
I've never seen any of them.
Really?
Wow.
Now I know the premise, but yeah, no, I was Friday the 13th, and then
Oh yeah,
later,
Michael, Jason.
later,
Freddy.
or no, not Friday, Nightmare on Elm Street, and then later on, I started watching the Friday the 13th with Jason, but I was a Freddy Krueger growing up. I was
Freddy Krueger fan as well.
Yeah.
I thought the remake of the of Nightmare on Elm Street was horrible.
It was.
Freddy Krueger was about 4 foot tall.
Yeah, because
And-
they didn't ask him to come back in that one.
And they
If Robert England, however you say his name, is in Freddy Krueger, then it's not worth it.
the guy who did Freddy Krueger was an actor who did he was in Watchmen with the face.
He played Rorschach.
And he was in Preacher too.
Yep.
And he's kind of creepy looking, but he's only like 5 foot.
He's
So
tiny.
when he's running around as Freddy Krueger, and
Yeah.
they did the makeup on him so good in the movie, he looked like a burn victim.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at a 5 foot burn victim, and nothing scary about that.
Yeah.
Robert England's like 6'2", 6'3". His face looked like a burn victim that actually is evil now, because it didn't exactly kind of look like a burn victim. And he was very creepy. And the way he moved was very creepy. It was very slow and then quick, sudden movements. But the thing I loved about the Rob Zombie's movie, if you watch the original Halloween, with Donald Pleasance, Jamie Lee Curtis, the man's evil. I looked into his eyes, they're doll's eyes. He's evil. That whole thing, classic movie. Rob Zombie took you back to when he was a kid and gave you the backstory on how he became Michael Myers, and just did such an incredible job. I mean, the story he told was scary like the original Halloween, but it was like real world scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, back then it was like Halloween, like he's this mysterious guy who gets shot and killed and stabbed and he still lives. This was just it is one of the best remakes I've seen.
Yeah, I met at a tattoo convention, and I forget his name, but he played Jason the most times out of all the
Yeah, we
movies.
met him.
Yeah, I think he played like 5 times Jason.
Yeah. Frank
Dude,
something or other, I think, right?
I don't think it's Frank something.
I'll look it up.
We met
But,
him and the guy who played the original freaking Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Oh,
the
yeah.
old guy. Yeah.
But yeah, so I met him and got a picture of him, and the picture everybody takes is, he's got his hands around your throat and he kind of picks you up a little bit. And then he's like a germaphobe, so he wears gloves so he doesn't touch things anymore. And so he's like, hey, do you want the same picture? And I'm like, yeah, we'll do the same one. He put his fucking hands around my throat and lifted me off the ground.
Kane Hodder was in
Kane-
4 of them.
Kane Hodder, that's who I
Yeah.
met. And and it was just like, it was kind of scary because this dude was 55 years old, jacked, and then with ease just picked me up off the ground by my throat. And it was cool.
Yeah, he's been in he's been at the a couple of the conventions. We went to a convention which was it was that Monsters.
Yeah, that was the first one we went to.
We just found it by
Yeah,
happenstance.
we brought Joe.
And we took Joe over, and it was this Monster Con, right?
Yeah.
And it never came back again. And I don't know
No,
why, but
I don't know if like Comic-Con kind of took that over.
But we went there, we're like looking around, and they had like some creepy shit where they had Santa Claus that was a vampire.
Oh, gee. Yeah.
But the guy looked like Santa, like he had a real beard,
Yeah.
but had black eyes and fangs. And then we met that guy Kane was there. We saw him, and this old guy was there, and he was the original creature from the Black Lagoon.
God, how old would he? He had to have been 80 years old.
Dude, he's actually, I just saw that he's going to be at another convention.
Yeah.
And they were like, and basically it was like, come see the original creature from Black Lagoon before he dies. Like, he's that old. But I had him autograph one of those old 60s posters. They were selling the movie posters of it. I had him autograph that. We're still gonna get that framed. But it was pretty cool to sit here, sit there and listen to him talk about swimming around in the outfit. He had pictures of himself in the outfit and shit. And I'm like you said, the guy's old as hell. I mean, this was a movie from the 60s.
Yeah.
And it was like, wasn't he like some Olympic swimmer or something wacky like that? But this convention was so cool. It was just all monsters, all dark, all freaking creepy shit.
I'm not into conventions. That's one I would go to. That'd be cool. And then Alien Con is the one that looks fun too.
I'd love to go to that.
Yeah, the ancient aliens. At least there, they rotate it around the country each year.
I'd love to go see that. They got the hair all freaking aliens.
Yeah. Giorgio Tsoukalos.
Yeah, I would love to go see that.
It's not as tall. You notice as the series goes on, the hair, it's still up, but it's really short now. So it's not like it used to be. But yeah, I definitely want to go to that. I'd love to go to a monster convention. How cool would?
Well, they said it was a couple of days. We went one day, and they're like, "Well, you can come back in the evening, but you don't want to bring your son because it gets a little freaky."
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can only imagine. But
that's the same as tattoo conventions. It's usually family friendly, and then usually most of the bigger ones, it's like 4 or 5 o'clock. They start asking parents, "Hey, get the kids out." It's about to turn.
The one chick had she had these freaking boobs. I'm pretty sure we took of Joe. That chick, she was dressed like some sort of vampire or something. And it was like 90% of her boobs were sticking out. And we took a picture of her next to Joe. And then I took a picture of a girl dressed like Sonic, but it was like her boobs were hanging out the bottom of the outfit.
It was almost like that show that was on cable where they did the body painting, like the contest, but they're naked. And that's kind of, she was like that, but she was Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah. And it was, but such a, great time. I mean, it was, I don't know if they had the car from Christine that was there.
They've had that at the South Carolina.
Yeah, they've had like the Green Goblin head from Maximum Overdrive.
God, what a horrible. So Stephen King, every time he meets who's he at? It wasn't Kiefer Sutherland. It was
Emilio Estevez.
And Emilio Estevez says every time, no matter where he is at, like whenever he sees Stephen King's apologizes about that movie. He's like, "Hey man, sorry about your career in that movie," And it was a horrible.
Well, AC/DC did the soundtrack for that movie.
Really?
And it's
been like 20 years since I've seen Maximum Overdrive.
They're even in the beginning of the movie when the freaking machines take over and they start raising the bridge. The AC/DC tour van, it's just basically a black van with AC/DC painted on it, with them hanging out the windows, slides back and like smashes into a bunch of people in cars.
I don't even remember that. Wow.
Oh my God. I loved Maximum Overdrive. That was great. It was so cheesy. It's one of those movies that are so cheesy. It's great.
I love that the head is still around though. That's so cool. I follow a guy on TikTok and or two separate guys, and they're both prop masters, and they always answer questions, and they talk about all the props, and then people are like, where are these now? And these are like still famous Hollywood prop guys. So they're like, okay, so this is still in this collection. This is touring, and like unfortunately, this it was destroyed after the movie because a lot of times, like I said, movies like that. There was no budget. They didn't think it was going to be big. So they just destroyed everything or reused it in other movies, and it got changed. And a lot of that stuff never survived.
Yeah, they had that. They had the Ghostbusters car. They had like the Batmobile. Then they have people who make their own kind of Batmobile and shit like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, those are always it's always fun to go to those things. And then they had the Mad World people there from the haunted house places by us that we've gone to before.
Now, have you seen the trailer for the new Ghostbusters?
Yeah.
Oh my God, it looks fantastic.
I think it's gonna be very Goonie-ish.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know. It's gonna. I
think I'm cool with that.
It's definitely gonna break some records. I mean, Ivan Reitman's son. It's gonna be such a fantastic story.
Yeah.
50 years later, 30 years later.
Yeah.
How cool is that gonna be?
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. I could not bring myself to watch the remake of the Ghostbusters with the girls.
No,
I wouldn't, and the main reason I didn't watch that one, I saw the trailers didn't look funny. I don't think the main character, that woman, I forget her name, I don't think she's funny at all to begin with. But the Willy Wonka remake just fried me on remakes, and it's just like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to see a Ghostbusters remake.
Certain movies should not be remade.
I've never seen the Willy Wonka remake because I like Johnny Depp, and when I saw his interpretation, I was like, no, you sound like a creepy pedophile to begin with. Just the first and foremost.
Like it too throughout it.
And I can't watch this movie. I refuse to watch this movie. And then when I saw the trailer, and I can't think of her name. She always used to do Hillary Clinton on Saturday Night Live, was the girl who was the main character. And then Melissa McCarthy was in it. Yeah. And then the big black girl,
black chick,
real tall black chick from Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, she's funny in some certain things that I've seen her in.
Yeah, she was in Coming to America too. I mean, she is pretty funny.
Yeah, she was, yeah.
But I mean, when I saw those, I was like, I
refuse to watch it.
I just can't. I can't bring myself to it.
Now I can't remember the actor that just signed on for the. I think the movie's called Willy Wonka, and it's a movie, and it's pre Willy Wonka. I guess it's how he becomes Willy Wonka. So it's not a remake of the Chocolate Factory.
Kind of like I just walked out on Cruella on Disney.
I haven't seen that one.
I actually watched it last weekend. The music was excellent in it. I have to say they had great songs throughout it.
So it was how she becomes.
It wasn't bad. I thought it was going to be horrible. It did not get good reviews. We have Disney Plus, so it's on.
I saw the end of it.
It's free now. You don't have to pay the $30 for it. And it was a good movie. I liked it. I'm a big fan of the chick who plays her. I can't think what her name is, but I thought it was. I thought Cruella was a good movie.
That guy Timothy Chalamet just signed up for Willy Wonka.
Okay, so it'll be and it's either called Willy Wonka or it's going to be called Wonka. I don't know if they've chosen a title yet. It'll be interesting to see what they're.
So we'll see if it's because of his father.
Wonka. It's just called Wonka.
So it is just called Wonka. Yeah.
Because supposedly his father's a dentist and wouldn't allow him to have candy. And that's
you're right. I forgot about that.
I don't know the Willy Wonka story as much as you do.
That's told in the Johnny Depp version.
Yeah, I didn't watch.
He actually does like a flashback, and he has like these horrible braces, and his mouth is closed, and he just wants a piece of candy. But his father's a dentist and only allows healthy foods because candy's bad for you and sugar.
Sorry.
I'd be interested to see how what their interpretation of how Willy Wonka becomes Willy Wonka. So,
well, some things are just best to be left alone. I don't know.
Watch Cruella, and Gabby would like it.
Yeah,
I think she would like it. It's not scary at all.
I watched the end. I watched the end, and it wasn't that bad. I think the last 15 minutes when I came upstairs. And it didn't seem like it wasn't like I walked in. I was like, oh crap, this movie's on. I kind of watched it. I was like, oh, okay, it's not pretty decent story. It's a decent ending, blah, blah, blah. And then it kind of goes into the 101 Dalmatians movie, where that starts from. So I got that. It seemed pretty cool. So I mean, it wouldn't be something I wouldn't be opposed to watching, but
I can't remember the movie. And it was like 2 weeks ago, I was in the office doing something and Jess was the start of a movie. And it's like 2 minutes in and I'm like hooked in it. And I'm like, damn it. I got work to do. And she's like, all right, we'll watch it another time. So, and I can't remember what it was. So, Yes, now I gotta.
That does me no good, Kevin.
Yeah.
I know. I'll have to message her and find out what that was.
We're hooked on the series Succession right now on HBO
yeah.
Max. It's
God.
freaking fantastic.
Brian Cox is in it.
It's an
He's
hour-long
such a
episode,
prick.
though, so that's a little tough because we can't binge watch it as much as we do other shows.
It's such a great. I mean, Jen likes to go to bed early, and
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock. So even like last night and stuff, like
No.
when
We were up till 1 a.m.
We were up to 1 a.m. because it's coming to the end of the series, and it's just
It's a 10 o'clock. We're usually maybe. I mean, Jessica's usually asleep by 10, and usually I'm asleep.
During the week is 10 o'clock. Weekends varies.
No, it's same.
Maybe 11.
Yeah.
So it's usually 11. So, but usually I walk into the room and there's like a naked chick on the screen, and I'm like, what the hell? Every time I walk in here, there's naked women on the TV. It's like I said in our chat. One time she'd walk in, there'd be a naked woman. Like, what are you watching, Kevin? I get the fifth degree, but yeah. So, but she like when she's watching Viking or was it? It wasn't the Viking, whatever that Viking show was.
Oh,
Game of
Thrones
or Game of Thrones. That's
Never
what, not
saw
Vikings. But yeah, they're just naked people.
Close
all the
enough.
time, I guess. Yeah.
we tried watching that. I know I tried
couldn't get
watching.
into
I
it.
got into the first couple of shows, the first couple of episodes, and I don't know, it just wasn't grabbing me. I tried, it didn't work. Succession is really good.
Yeah.
We're gonna try and watch Billions. Daryl had recommended that. That has a really good cast of characters, and he said it's really good. And I tried watching the new series on Apple, which I watched the first episode, and I have to go back. Foundation. I watched the first episode. It's sci-fi, and it was great effects. It had a decent storyline, but I fell asleep, and then I kind of woke up, and I was like, okay, I'm lost. So it's one of those. It's got a complicated story to it, so I want to go back and watch it again. But that has some pretty good actors in it too.
Yeah, I think the last series we got into was Snowpiercer, which
Why?
It was fantastic.
Was it really?
The freaking train that travels around the world because it's frozen.
We still
You
haven't
see the
gone
movie?
back. We want to go back and watch the movie, to see what that was. But the series, everybody says like the series, like it really there's nothing to do with the movie. It's completely different. Fantastic. We were hooked on Snowpiercer. And it was
give that one a try if it's nothing like the movie.
I don't know. I watched the movie, and it was what's his face who plays Captain America.
Yeah,
is in it, and I think Tilda Swinton or Tilda Swinton. I think she's in it too. And I watched the movie, and it was terrible.
I just wondered how because now that we've seen several seasons of Snowpiercer, now it's like I can't even wrap my head around like how they could contain that into a couple of hour movie. Because it's all these stories, backstories, what's going on.
It was terrible.
Yeah, it was.
It was terrible. I mean, the whole concept of global warming, the fucking Earth is frozen now, or whatever the hell it is, and they're just on a train going around the Earth because they can't stop. If they do, they'll freeze to death.
I really think that you would like the series. It is fantastic. So then we're excited because the last season of Manifest is finally coming to Netflix. They're going to wrap up.
Watched it.
They're going to wrap up the last 2 seasons since it got canceled. Netflix picked up one final season, so they got to wrap everything up in one season. But,
yeah, we have a couple of like that. Daryl was asking me about the show C.
We have. It's season 2 that's out right now. We have to watch season 1.
The guy who played Aquaman's in
it. Jason
Momoa.
Momoa.
I don't know. It's not on the top of my list to watch.
I don't watch series. I don't watch TV shows. I like I said, we got the Snowpiercer, Manifest, and then like that's it. Other than that, like I said, I don't watch series just because of the Manifest thing when it was canceled. And there's so many shows that get canceled as cliffhangers, and it's like I don't want to get it.
We're waiting for Ozark 4 is coming out. next year. That will finish up that series. That was awesome.
We had
Those
three.
are.
We had 3 series that had the same thing. They all ended, and each one of them pissed us off.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because the Santa Clarita Diet
Yep.
was freaking
That
hilarious.
was awesome.
And I don't even recommend people watching it now because you'll want to punch me in the face because you'll like it, and then you'll realize they didn't pick
It just
back up.
ends.
Yeah.
Like,
And
it was just canceled.
yeah, they just canceled it. The other one
Castle
was
Rock.
Castle Rock, which was going back and giving you the history of some of the characters from Stephen King books.
And we almost, like, I think it was like the day before or the day after we were going to start watching that, and then they announced it was canceled. I'm like,
It
no.
really, you do have to watch it. It was just awesome. And the characters, and then in this, depending on the series, you'll hear certain names or you'll see a building. It's like, oh my God, that's from Salem's Lot
Yeah.
or wherever.
Yeah.
Lots of references. The reason why I like the one series is it gave you the background on what's her face from
Annie.
from what movie was that? With I'm your biggest fan.
I just forgot.
I always want to say Dolores Claiborne. It's
No.
not Dolores
Yeah.
Claiborne.
The book writer.
Yeah. I can't remember
I
the
can't
name
think
of
of
the
the
yeah.
But it gives you her whole
I have
background
to look it up.
in the
because it's gonna
series,
kill me.
like everything, and it's pretty cool. And then it just freaking ended. And the other one was
Nosferatu.
Nosferatu.
Oh, that was just like at the very the last.
That was
the
a kick in
girls
the
on-
balls.
That was a kick in the balls.
And
I do want
Mindhunter.
I'd like to go back.
Mindhunter was great.
I would like to read the book Nosferatu.
I would love. I mean, we were just completely like, this series is awesome. And then Mindhunter was the other one.
Misery.
Misery.
Yeah.
Mindhunter was the other one that
Yeah.
started to dive into the early stages of the FBI, beginning the serial killers. Like they gave it they gave the name serial killer, the whole history behind it, and how they were interviewing all these serial killers and trying to, as they started to get different murders, try and figure out if it may be a serial killer or not. And they actually based it off real interviews that they did with some of these serial killers. And the show was fantastic. But those, 4 or 5 shows all got canceled. And
Yeah.
it really pissed me off because
Morgan
great.
Morgan Freeman's got a new one coming out. It's a series, and it's not like a scripted series. Just like on the Discovery or History Channel. It's about jailbreaks. And
I saw that.
Yeah, and it looked good. See, that's what I like hour-long shows about a top. They wrap it up, and then the next one. So you're not cliffhanging on each one. So
there'll be no cliffhangers here, Kevin. We're going to talk about The Greatest Escape at Shawshank.
Yes, there we go. So that's what I like watching.
Yeah.
So.
Now, we watch some of those documentary stuff like that, and it's pretty cool. And but we're we had this big hole, and we're trying to fill it in. And like she doesn't watch Ted Lasso. I watch Ted Lasso. I think it's freaking whole. The one night I watched the recent episode, and she's in bed sleeping, and I'm sitting there with my headphones on, right?
He's laughing like a mental patient.
Because she has the volume on, so she got me these headphones, and it's not helping her sleep because I'm laughing my ass off. Because it's just that funny, man. It's such a great show.
Yeah, I've been reading like over the last couple days or so, people have been posting like clips, like on TikTok. Just watching like these little like
the dartboard clip that everybody's been posting.
Yeah, I saw that one on TikTok, and then I saw it on Facebook.
Yeah, because that's a great moment in the show when her ex-husband is freaking treating him like shit, and he just ices him and is like, "Yeah, if you take time to get to know someone, you realize you'd ask me, 'Did you play darts, Ted?' Yes, I do. Yes, I did. 13 to 16 with my dad."
Yeah.
And I start laughing because that moment always reminded me of a moment when I was home for like winter break from college. and my buddy and I went in this bar called the Gentleman's Bar. We were drinking, and these two guys were hanging out with. We just met and we were drinking, and they were like, "All right, man, let's play for pitchers of beer." We're like, "Yeah." So my buddy and I won the first game. They paid a pitcher, and then they just killed us like the next 3 games. And these guys could barely stand.
Yeah.
And then as we walked out, I looked up and I'm like, I'd driven by this bar every day of my life because it's my hometown. And I'm like, there's a dartboard with a dart in it in the name Gentleman's Bar. Mm-hmm. These guys were on their dart team. Yeah. And just, found 2 of us dopey guys coming in, wanting to play freaking darts for beer because we thought we were good, and just completely took us for about 3 or 4 pitchers.
Yeah, that's my buddy Brian. Grew up in Indiana, so wintertime, he had his family had finished basement. So all we did all winter long, you played darts, you played pool, you played cards, so I mean, any of those like skill games like that, he'll destroy you. He's like, yeah, that's what I did for 15 years. Every day.
I thought I was pretty good at it too, because same thing. We always played darts. We go to my uncle's, we go to my aunt's. He always had a dartboard. My uncle had a pool table. So we were always throwing darts. My brother had a dartboard at home, so it began. My brother was very good. Like, he was just freaking mind sick, is how accurate he was. So I thought that was pretty decent. Not against these guys. These guys were like, after they beat us after the first pitcher, you're like, let me pull out this pack of the custom darts.
Yeah. And now Brian's dad, Dick, he's the one that really taught us how to play pool. Like, we, and then like the real rules of like pool. It's like, hey, like the ball went around and didn't touch he goes, my ball now, my turn. And it's just like, I'm like, what are you making up these rules? He's like, no, these are the rules of pool. It's like when you're at my house, because Brian grew up with, had a pool table.
Yeah.
So we went over, played pool, and his dad didn't cut us any slack. Like, these are the fucking rules. This is when you're in my house and you're playing against me, and his dad owned the pool table. Nobody ever beat his dad.
Yeah, whenever we used to play, it was always, and that's the one thing I learned is you don't lean on the pool table, you don't put a drink on it.
Yeah.
On a corner. And whenever you're at the bar, someone always puts their butt, it's like, off. What?
Yeah.
Like, you don't know, just proper etiquette.
Yeah. Yeah.
We covered a lot tonight, didn't we?
We did.
We did.
Well, so what else are you gonna do for your birthday, Kev?
Nothing.
Are you gonna end your night?
Just gonna finish up this cigar and watch some TV, and that's it. Kids got school tomorrow, so I don't go back to work for a few days, and so that's it. Got a guy coming over to pick up the shed in the morning, so they're hauling that out of here. Right. Luckily, the ground has been dry. That was the biggest thing, man. The ground, we've gotten so much rain, and the ground has been so saturated, and so finally had a little time off where I can clean the shed out, and so the truck can get in there and come pick it up. So yeah, I was surprised.
Did stuff you put at curbside get picked up?
Everything got picked up. Took three of my vehicle, the SUV loads full of of just the rest of the garbage down to my work. So we have a big dumpster, and we don't ever use it. It's way bigger than anything that we. It's like not huge, but it's just a dumpster with the 2 lids on it. We don't go through that much garbage, so I loaded that up with crap, and yeah, that's it. So they're going to come pick that up in the morning, and like I said, the contractor got a hold of me today, and been waiting on permits through the city. The new shed, the permits got approved right away. And then on the addition, they wanted a round of changes, like structural changes. So nothing on the inside that we're going to make, any difference. The city of Northport is a lot more strict, because usually houses are built to Miami-Dade code, which is like super strict hurricane. Even throughout the country, they use the Miami-Dade building code. And for some reason, our city is even more strict than Miami-Dade. So he had to make some changes to that. So he resubmitted everything. It got approved. So he's hoping to pick up the permits this week, the end of the week. And hopefully they'll start that.
Nice.
Unfortunately, the new shed, they're going to build that with the addition, 'cause it's saving us a ton of money, building it a little at a time, so as like the framers are building the addition, they're going to frame the shed. And then when the electricians come in to run the wiring, they'll do the shed at the same. So as that specialty is there doing the addition, they'll do the shed,
right,
at the same time. Same with the truss guys and the roofers. So a shed that would normally take 2 weeks to build is probably going to take 9 months to build.
Yeah.
Right.
But a shed that if we bought would have been $12,000, but we're building it was $5,500.
Right.
Just because it's at the same time, and
nice.
It's really no extra labor, for whatever specialty that'll be out.
Right.
So yeah, so that'll be nice, to get that going.
It was very exciting, man.
Yeah.
We're working on your gift. So stay tuned. Wait till things settle down a little bit. And
right on. I don't know where Jessica hid all my gifts at. I know she got me the new Stephen King book. So so I need to get that book because it was supposed to be really, really exciting. So I can't wait to start reading that.
Which one's this?
I don't know. It just came out like
a month. I don't know the name of it.
But I just got back because I sent down to Abe at Smoke Inn. His daughter is a voracious reader, and I sent her Under the Dome by Stephen King. And usually I'll read a book and I give it out, and then I just tell people. Like I just gave my buddy Scott, his birthday's today too. The Institute by I forget who wrote it, and he asked me, he goes, "Hey, do you want it back?" I go, "No, just pay it forward. Just give the book out." But like that one, the Under the Dome, like I said, that was such a great book. I always ask for that.
We tried watching a series.
It was horrible.
It was okay. 3 episodes in, and then it got.
I think that's as far as we got, and then it got really bad.
Yeah. It got so cheesy. It was just it was dumb.
Then I fast forward to like the last episode and I'm like, I couldn't even watch it.
No.
Yeah,
so bad.
I've been meaning to go online and just seeing how the series wrapped up, versus the book, and but yeah, it's
Stephen King movies and adaptations for like shows and stuff, they're either hit or miss.
Well, and here's
some of it's tough to adapt.
Yeah,
because
here's the reason why the movies are hit and miss. So Stephen King will sell the rights to a book. Generally, his going fee is $1, is what he'll sell the rights to his book for, and like 99% of the time, it's always to up and coming directors or producers that want to do something. And he's really a big proponent of getting these up and comers. So, and then he gives them kind of free reign, because obviously you have to change the story a certain, when you got Under the Dome, which is 2,000 pages.
Yeah, his books are big.
And if you want to turn that into a 2-hour movie, you have to make a lot of changes. So he gives everybody a lot of free reign in doing what they want to try and make a name for themselves. Now, I don't know what he gets I'm sure he makes it on the back end. Like you can have the rights for $1, but I'm going to take
15% or whatever
of the gross. So other, versus paying $1 million for the rights to the story, and then, so I think that really is the reason why it's hit or miss, and it's.
But his books are so long and detailed, and like you said, if you watch the movie The Shining with Jack Nicholson, such a great movie, but then you watch the series The Shining, completely different.
Yeah,
I mean, and what was the other? Because it's always funny is like it's you realize that if you really want if you want to take a Stephen King book and really put it on the big screen, they almost have to be a series because it's so long.
Yeah.
You can't get most of his books truncated into a movie unless, like you said, there's a lot of free reign.
Yeah. Did you watch that the one on the JFK, the series?
No.
Oh, I think it was
so.
I think it was like 11/23/64. Or
Oh,
something.
we did
Oh,
watch
yeah, yeah,
it.
we
Yeah, we
did,
liked
yeah.
it.
It was good.
It was good.
That stuck to the book. I mean, it was
We did watch
That was
it.
a good series.
Yeah, I liked
That was
it a lot.
Really good.
that was a good series. I don't know who directed that one, but that was spot on. They did
We liked
not-
it.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
really good. I like that. And I know that obviously The Shining came out, and then they redid. They did the guy from Wings was in the remake for
Yeah.
The Shining, but then
Oh,
they
they did a remake of The Shining.
well they did
For
they did a TV.
I
Right.
never saw that. I never read
Yeah.
the book either. I only saw the movie.
Well, the book that's the series that's close to the book is it's less about Jack and more about the house.
Mhm.
Oh, really?
The
The
hotel.
Oh, the hotel, yeah.
The hotel is what is haunted. And actually at the end of The Shining, Jack Torrance actually becomes the hero and saves the family.
In the series?
Yeah, in the miniseries that was
Oh, okay.
adapted to the book. And then Dr. Sleep
Yes.
kind of that was a great movie.
Yeah.
Did they do a movie on Dr. Sleep?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did
It's on
Wow.
either HBO Max right now
It's-
or
There's some disturbing parts in it,
it's
man.
pretty-
But it's a great movie. But they kind of revisit the mansion or the hotel and that the hotel, like the spirits and the evil that's in the hotel.
Mhm.
And that's because in the original Shining, remember how in the movie they had all the hedges that were shaped like animals?
Yeah.
In the book and in the series, they come to life and like freaking attack.
Oh, really?
So it's completely different than the movie that who did that? What's his face? I can't remember who did that movie anymore. He died a couple of years ago. But the movie that Jack Nicholson was in is nothing like what the book is.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
And Roman was it Roman? Not Roman Polanski. He didn't do it. But I like The Stand. The Stand's one of those again. It has to be a miniseries because you can't. How are you going to make that into a 2-hour movie?
I didn't watch the because we didn't have whatever it was on The Stand.
We watched it.
Wow.
We watched the newly redone one.
Now was it just a one like a mini series and that was it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, we did. I looked for it when it first came out, and at that time we didn't have whatever it was on, and I really wanted to see it because
it wasn't horrible. It was
What?
The Stand.
The new one?
Yeah.
I thought it was really good.
Yeah, it was it was definitely the graphics and new compared to what his other miniseries have been.
Well, the original one. Well, I mean, it was kind of it was the
can't beat that.
80s
That was in
or
the
whatever.
80s.
yeah,
I mean,
the original
You
sucks. The book was amazing. I remember reading the book in I want to say like the 6th grade. It was when he re-released the book. So when he originally made the book, the editors made him cut out like 500 pages. So basically, they made him cut out an entire book, and and that's what my dad had read when he was younger. So I remember and it was a big thing because Stephen King was big now. He had the money to do whatever he wanted, and he re-released the original book, and I read that, and then I remember the series, and it sucked. Or I can't remember if it was a series or a movie.
It was a mini
the
series.
Rob Lowe was in it.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
freaking the guy from Coach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the new one is. I thought that the remake was freaking phenomenal, and
The actor who played Flag was awesome.
yeah. That was he one of the
When the Skarsgård.
Skarsgårds?
Yeah.
But Stanley Kubrick did The Shining.
Okay. Stand up. Yeah.
But Dr. Sleep was really good.
Yeah. You should watch it.
Yeah, but like there's some like Doppelgangers, horrible movie.
Yeah.
I don't know what the freaking book was like, but the movie was so
Mhm.
freaking 1980s, early 90s, super cheesy, bad graphics. I thought Christine was a great movie.
Yeah, good movie. I wish they would do Duma Key. As they could do that as a pretty good series. Stephen King. That was a book based on Siesta Key up here in Sarasota. Another 1,000-page book. But
I thought Outsider was a great series, which was an
I was gonna
adaptation
say, yep.
of Stephen King. It was actually
That was another one that was canceled, wasn't it?
yes,
Outsider. That was one that
Outsider.
was fucking phenomenal. And then they actually had another one of his characters in there who were trying to watch. There was another series that was only a short-lived
Mr.
series.
Mercedes.
Mr. Mercedes.
That pissed. I was waiting for the first season, or like to
You
end,
can't
or,
find it on anything, or else we have to pay for it.
and then they canceled it. So that was but that was the first. That was the first time Stephen King has ever done a like the same character multiple books. The books were fantastic.
Exactly.
Yeah, what's her name was in it? I can't remember the character's name. She was the girl in The Outsider.
Yeah, it was the black chick. I can't think of her.
She's in Mr. Mercedes, that character, and she's like a clairvoyant or something like that. But I was so pissed because The Outsider was another one of those series that was just like, wow. Because we were watching that and watching Castle Rock, so we were like knee deep in Stephen King and all these new freaking spin-offs, and I don't know why they didn't do well. But I thought the remake of It was really good as opposed to the John Boy version of It.
Oh god, yeah. It was really good, and like I said, and if you go up in Sarasota, you'll see Stephen King everywhere, just traipsing about town, and I had tickets, and then I had to cancel. I couldn't go. He did a thing at the Van Wezel Performing Arts Center, and it was just because he wrote a book on how to be an author or how to write books, and it was a bestseller. And he had like a little function, and I mean this place holds 1,000 people, but it was limited to like 100 people, and you got a one-on-one with Stephen King. So he really talked about like the art of being an author and writing a book, and the audience, it was really a question and answer, segment, a couple hour, show. Yeah. And I really want, so mad I wasn't able to go that because I have so many questions for, like Stephen King, reading all his books, and it's, I can't remember what the one book, I'd have to go look up. He did an interview, and because it is him and his son Jonah, that they're not allowed to send a book to the publisher until it gets cleared by Stephen King's wife, Tabitha King, who he says is actually the writer of the family. And I've never read any of her books. And so if she doesn't sign off on a book, they're not allowed to send it to the publisher. And there was one book that she made him change the ending. And it was like the best book. And I wanted to ask him at the time, what was your ending? I got right. And for the life of me, I can't remember which one it was. I'm like, what was? And he never says like in interviews how he ended it. Yeah. I'd love to know like how would you have ended that book?
That's interesting. Well, when we started doing research on these series, his son did pop up. Yeah, because some of it was stuff
because the Outsider, I think was his adaptation,
his son's adaptation. Yeah. So the Outsider was affiliated with his son.
Yeah,
and I think it was it the God? I cannot think of that the character's name.
But I love his son didn't write under the King name. He wanted to be his own author and his own person. And just a fantastic. You just want you got Stephen King, his wife, Tabitha, and you just know his kids are going to be just great authors. Just whatever.
Yeah, you almost have to be, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, The Outsider.
Yeah. You imagine the book reports like in grade school that his kids turned in. Just like the books they were reading.
Yeah, what are you going to do? You're going to give that kid an F?
Yeah.
Holly Gibney.
That's it.
Holly Gibney. Yeah.
Holly Gibney.
That's why we wanted to watch Mr. Mercedes.
Yeah, she was in
that.
And Holly Gibney was in that.
Yeah, she was a good character in that in that.
Mr. Mercedes.
Yeah, Mr. Mercedes. Yeah, that was a great series. I was just shocked that Stephen King had like a 3-part book and it was just a story that was continuing because, like I said, he'd never done that before. So it was super cool. And then it was even super cool on Under the Dome, just listening to him, an interview talking. He had written that 20 years ago, 25 years ago. And I remember the story. He said he was working on, I forget what story it was at the time, and he had writer's block. So he went over to his filing cabinet and was just looking through old stories that he had started. I guess he has a filing cabinets, plural, of stories that he has started throughout his life. And it was Under the Dome, and he had written, and he was like a quarter of the way through it. So I pulled it out, started reading it, went over to his typewriter because he still has a typewriter, and then like in 3 days, banged out the other 1,000 pages of the. So went to the publisher's expecting this book, and he's like, "Hey, I got this book. I'd like to, like, what about the other book? Yeah, no, I finished this book that I started 20 years ago."
That's what it was. It's Joe King.
Yeah,
he looks just like Stephen King. It's freaking odd.
Yeah, and
he did. He's the one who wrote Nosferatu.
Yeah. I think wasn't it Joe Hill? Didn't he write
Joe Hill? Yeah.
Joe Hill. Is what he wrote,
and he wrote the In the Tall Grass, which we were gonna watch.
Yeah, we just haven't. Yeah.
No, wait, we did watch that.
No, we didn't watch it. I think we started to, but we
isn't that the one where the girl was like fell down the well and broke her leg?
No, that's something else. In the Tall Grass is where they go into the grass and they kind of just disappear. We haven't watched that, and they're kind of like trapped in there.
I thought we started watching that, but yeah, he looks just like his dad.
Oh yeah.
And Lock and Key is the new series that's on Netflix that he does.
We'll have to see that one.
It's weird when you see like the kids that look like, because he looks like his dad, and then Clint Eastwood's son.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
It's freaky because it's like, is that 18-year-old Clint Eastwood?
He sounds just like him.
He sounds and looks like him. And then we got in the series in Disney, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn's son is in that.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Wyatt
and
Russell.
that dude, like, he's got like
Captain America.
When he's talking, it's like it's freaking Kurt Russell.
I've been waiting for them like the kids to redo one of their parents' movies, because like Kurt Russell's son could really do Escape from New York. Clint Eastwood's son could redo, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Oh my God, Outlaw Josie Wales, whatever. I mean, his son just looks and sounds like him.
I've been waiting for that. Just one of these kids to be able to redo that.
I read an article his son did, and he was I saw an interview, and he was just like, yeah, my dad didn't help me out at all.
Yeah,
he's like, he was just a prick. Because when you Clint Eastwood, the guy's what, 90?
90. He's got, I don't know. Didn't he have like a half a dozen kids with several different women?
Oh yeah.
Did you see his? It's on HBO Max. Cry Macho.
Is it out?
Yeah, it's out. It's available on HBO Max.
But
you haven't watched it yet. I watched the preview.
But he's like, did you know, like, because he was in the army, but he was on a plane that crashed in the water like a mile or two offshore, and he freaking crashed and had to swim.
No,
2 miles.
Clint Eastwood?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yep. It's such a bizarre freaking story how he was like, hitched a ride. It was just like, yeah, we're going down, boom, and had to swim like a mile or two, freaking after crashing into the water off the West Coast.
Wow. I was just reading the other day that an interview with Christopher Lloyd, and he was asking about a Back to the Future, another movie, and he said he would do one, but he wants the original writer, director, and he goes, he won't do it without
Michael J. Fox.
But he said he would love to do another one.
That'd be great.
That would definitely be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that would be cool. But yeah, we got to watch Cry Macho.
Yeah,
I can't believe freaking 91.
No.
And I remember watching in college. We watched, which I think is is the best cowboy movie ever is Unforgiven.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, Academy Award winning. You know,
and I remember watching that and thinking he was old. He was like 60. That was like in 1990, right? It's like he's playing a washed up old man,
and he is. You know, well, not washed up, but yeah, he's an old man.
He's like he used to be a killer, and freak all this shit. And then you're like 30 years later, because I remember we did a class on the American male, like the genre of the American cowboy, and that was one of the movies we watched, and had to do a report on it. And I'd seen it like a million times when you're talking about him, Gene Hackman, Morgan Freeman, Richard Harris.
Yeah.
I mean, just freaking ridiculous actors in that movie, and just how well it was done.
Yeah.
Oh man. And Saul Rubinek was in that. He played the writer.
I absolutely loved that movie. That was such a great movie. So, but yeah, this has got to be, Cry Macho. How many more movies does he have left? It's
he did a movie. He does mostly directing now.
Yeah,
he did the freaking the one about Hudson with Sully.
Yeah.
But he did a movie on Richard Jewell.
Oh, I never saw. Yeah, the Atlanta bomb. Not so-called Atlanta.
It got bad. It didn't do well, but we watched it. It was really fucking good.
Yeah.
I mean, great acting. But I remember when that all happened, to really see the story of what this guy went through.
Yeah,
and he eventually died.
Oh, I didn't know Richard Jewell's dead.
He died. No. He died years later, but just. Everybody talks about the stress that they're under. I mean, what they did to his life was horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, they just came in and took everything.
Yeah.
And the freaking news, everybody had him as guilty. And then when they found out he wasn't guilty, and they had evidence that really they knew he wasn't fucking guilty. And they withheld it in the news media. And then after they're all done, they're just like, okay, here's your shit back. Take care. Sorry, you're innocent.
Yeah.
But it was well done movie. It was well done. But he'll keep doing movies. That guy's freaking. Even in Cry Macho, when you see him, you're like, man, I can't believe you're thinking that guy looks like he's 70 something. No, he doesn't look 91.
Yeah, I mean it's insane. Yeah,
he's timeless.
Yeah,
he really is. So.
Speaking
of time.
Yes.
I'm Bully Kevin.
I'm Bully Kerr.
I'm Bully Jen.
And remember, bullies make good friends.
From Kev, Jess, Kerr, and Jen, we are the Broadleaf Bullies. Thank you for joining us, and remember, bullies make good friends.